How's it going, everybody? This is Justin Bozeman here for another quick video with Radical Generation Radio. Just wanted to really very quickly put a very bold challenge on to you guys and proclaim that Black lives don't matter. I know we have the Black Lives Matter movement, but I want to go counter to them and claim boldly Black lives don't matter. And they can protest and do all the stuff that they're doing. But to be honest, I believe that the Black Lives Matter movement is very hypocritical. And I'm going to tell you why. I didn't hear about any of this stuff until they started to show more frequently police killing blacks with people taping it on their phones and whatnot. And now people have this understanding that police brutality or the police murdering people, that happens every day. And to be honest, I hate to tell this to people and bring up facts, but it doesn't happen every day. And white cops don't just kill just black people. White cops just don't stop just black people. In fact, black people usually die less when it comes to the police shooting them or whatnot than whites and every other minority. Whites are more likely to be pulled over and stopped and killed and shot and killed unlawfully and unjustly. In fact, it happens more often to them than it does to us. Also, it happens to the Latino community. Yes, it does. But for some reason, there's this narrative now going around the world and going around this country. And I don't know why, but for whatever reason, it's I believe that the narrative has been presented that cops only have it in for black folk, and it's not true. And the reason why I'm mad about the Black Lives Don't Matter or the Black Lives Matter movement is because they're hypocrites. You don't see them marching up and down the streets on an everyday basis, which happens every day when there's black on black crime. You don't see them coming forward and telling the police where to stop Jimmy Job or Jimmy John and Tate and Terry and Tyrone and Jamal and all these other guys who go around shooting people for drugs or for this or because they don't like this hood or they don't like that hood. You don't see them coming forward and stepping forward to keep the peace. Then they're not marching up and down the streets in the inner city of Chicago. They're not marching up and down the streets in the city of Baltimore talking about we need to stop killing each other. But when a white cop kills a black man, all of a sudden you need to be out on the streets protesting. They need to be protesting their own inner cities. They need to be having people snitch and get these guys off the streets, making the streets safe for our kids. But they're not doing that. No, they just want to divide race relations further by, number one, claiming that the federal government has a responsibility to create justice in their local municipality. Meanwhile, the judges and the cops and the sheriffs and all the other people who are in charge of making sure that there are justice and the DAs, they're all picked by you. The black community put these guys in power. You put the DA in power who's prosecuting. You put the judge in there who's deciding not to file charges of the guy. You voted for these people. Nobody told you that you had to vote for these people and keep them in office, but you're voting for these people. And then when something goes on, oh, the government got to step in. Then you got the idiots like Colin Kaepernick saying, oh, the federal government needs to make justice for everybody. Meanwhile, he's so ignorant he doesn't even know it's a local legislative issue. This is why I tell people you need to be involved in your local legislation. If you don't know who your local sheriff is, who the local DA is, who the local judges are, if you don't know a history of them, you can't complain about the justice that you're not getting because you guys have an effect of putting these guys into power. That's why I said you voted for your oppressor. But Black Lives Matter, they don't march whenever it's just gang violence. They don't march when it's just the hood code. They don't march when it's just Negroes killing each other. They weren't marching when the girl who was trying to go to college got shot in a crossfire of a gang violence. They weren't marching then. But when a white man pulls the trigger in the less than 4% of the time that it happens, they want to march. They're not marching whenever our young women are going to abortion clinics at a higher rate than whites and Latinos, and they kill more black children than any other race in this country. They're not marching to say, save those lives. To me, it's hypocritical. And anybody who's sitting around promoting this nonsense and this garbage, which is just further dividing the nation. Number one, they don't understand how law works. They don't understand their rights as a citizen to be able to put the right people into power who will find them justice. And number three, they don't understand that it's not a federal matter. Your president, who's black, who y'all voted for because he black, he ain't saying nothing and doing nothing. Why? Because he understands it's a local law issue. Hey, Colin Carpenter, you were supposed to be college educated, right? You should know when stuff like this happens, it is a local legislative issue. If you don't like the way cops are going about their job and doing things and getting off, guess what? You need to press the local lawmakers, the state, the county, the boroughs to have better, more accountable forms of punishment to the people. You guys need to call them and tell them that they need to set up a civilian review board so that when they unlawfully kill a cop, they have to go to them instead of their own people. But they're not going to do that. No, they're going to race bait. They're going to march up and down the street and claim racism. They're going to show up at other people's rallies and cause trouble and cause violence. They're going to sit around and claim it's just racism. Oh, it's this. But meanwhile, you guys are getting exactly what you voted for. And what did you vote for? You voted for the continued oppression of black men under the Democratic leadership. And you keep doing it. You call everybody else who tries to point this out to you, you call him a coon. You call him an Uncle Tom. And I'm tired of it. Black lives don't matter because you guys have made black lives not matter. By not being there for your children and not creating a legacy, and them trying to go out and emulate some rapper or some thug or some gangster, or growing up in some terrible environment because we decide to continue to procreate and put kids out in the middle of the worst living conditions in the world. You show your kids that their lives don't matter because you didn't think enough to plan them out before you had them, to bring them up in a better environment. You did that. White man didn't do that. The government didn't do that. You did that. You chose to do that. You chose to keep having kids knowing good and well that you was broke. Black children, more than any other race in this country, are born without a father inside the household. What does that do? That shows them their life doesn't matter. That's what it does. We don't get involved in our kids' education, and then we're upset that we're behind the 8 ball in terms of our testing and our IQ and our rates of graduating from colleges. And then we cry about, oh, it's injustice. Oh, the system's rigged against me. No. You voted for this system. If you want something to change, you need to look in the mirror. What you need to do is you need to start with yourself. Stop blaming the establishment. Stop blaming these officers. Stop ambushing these officers. Stop setting up riots for people to riot when you're not even rioting the right thing. What you need to be protesting is yourself. But I'm here to boldly proclaim Black lives don't matter. And it's because of the blacks who have accepted the oppression from the plantation. Signing off.